Hi guys, I'm the Galactic Witch, and today's video is all about projection, why we do it, how we do it, and how to flip the script. Before we get started, please, if you feel drawn, hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. And okay, let's hop right in. So first off, the first lesson I have about projection is that we all do it. Okay, we all project onto other people. We can project onto ourselves. Projecting is just human nature. So what is projection? Projection is when energetically we're spreading our feelings. We're spreading what we're holding in. We're spreading what we're excited about. We're spreading what we're angry about. Whatever it is, we're spreading it from one person from us to another. Have you ever been told that you're one of those people that could change the mood of the room like that? Like, you walk into the room and either the room lights up or you walk into the room and the room dims down. Hopefully that's not the case, but you know what I mean. That is basically what projection is, but a lot of times it happens during talking or physical contact. Now, there's a couple of different things that I want to go over, so we will, I'll try to make this video as quick as possible, but it's definitely potentially going to be a little bit of a longer one. So, first thing, projection, like I said, it's when we're spreading our feelings and such to other people or groups or whatever. You can even spread it to a room. Like, if you're alone in a room and you're feeling some type of way and someone else walks in, they may feel exactly what you're feeling at that point because the energy of the room has changed. So what happens, if we want to get into quantum physics and stuff like that a little bit, when we feel something so strongly, and this is how manifestation works as well, so I want to note that real quick. When you feel a certain way and you feel it so strongly, you feel it so often, you manifest that back into your life. And here is kind of, if not totally, what's going on. There are ions and stuff in the air that have no purpose yet. Okay, they're just kind of there. Now, we have them in our body, but all of ours have a purpose by the time we're adults. We can change that purpose, but they already have a purpose, so you have to work on it. You have to take time, you have to practice and remind yourself and go through it. And it takes 60 to 90 days. Can be sooner, can be quicker for some people, but others it takes 60 to 90 days to change the receptors and ions and neurons and all that fun stuff in our body and our brains. The receptors in our brains need that time to fully change, to cooperate, to make it human nature for us. So we're doing that with the energy outside of us as well. So for all those ions that are in the air that have no purpose yet, we are changing that by giving them purpose subconsciously, unknowingly. Now, the people who have learned the law of attraction, they've learned manifestation, they know how, they realize they're doing it. But for those of us who haven't yet, or who are still working on it, a lot of it is subconscious and just unknowing yet. So what's going on is all these ions are collecting your energy and they're matching your energy. So if you're feeling down, these ions are going to change the energy of the room to not so great. They're going to lower that vibration because you're in a lower vibration. Well, if you're feeling excitement or happiness, or you're just feeling, like, okay, like it's a good day, it's going to raise the vibration of the room. Okay, now that happens to other people as well, especially people who are empathetic, things of that nature, or highly sensitive people. They're going to pick up on it really quickly, and then their ions and stuff are going to start changing. The ones that feel the emotions, they're going to start matching your emotions. So that is how projection is working, is we're changing them and they're changing us. And that's how an exchange happens as well sometimes, because it'll be like, I feel really down, but you feel really good, and you kind of flip the script together because all of a sudden they feel down, but you feel better. So this is kind of like part 2 of the video, all collided into one. Okay, so as we were saying, when you exchange with a person and it ends up being like you go up, they go down, or vice versa, a lot of times this is actually what happens to empaths and highly sensitive people. So And it can really affect their day and what's going on around them, as well as it can affect your day and what's going on around you, and how we react to that stuff throughout the rest of the day. Maybe someone came and blew up on you, and that really affected you. So, throughout the rest of the day, you're kind of reacting the same way. It's kind of a chain reaction. And it happens. It's not great, but it happens. And so that's kind of how projecting works, at least when it's on other people. And we are going to get into other forms of projection later, because really everything we do is a form of projection. The way I kind of see it is because we have our higher self, our spiritual self, we have our physical body, and then we have what we project into the world. So it's kind of like we're the projectors, if you feel comfortable thinking about it that way. It's like our higher selves, our spiritual selves, our ego, it's all projecting through us into the rest of the world. So kind of like we're going to the movies, but we're the movie. And so that's basically how, like I said, that's how it works. Is you feel some type of way, you go into a room, you bump into a person, you start talking to somebody, you project that energy in or onto that person or those people, that room, and it changes from there. And that happens with every single one of us. So when you walk into a room and you're feeling anxiety, like maybe you walk into the store and you see it's really, really busy and you're feeling anxiety, that's probably part of it, is all those people's energy is there all of a sudden. And it's good. And like, maybe you came from the park, maybe you came from somewhere super peaceful, maybe you came from your home, which is your comfort zone. And then you go into this place that has a bunch of people, a bunch of different energies, and all of a sudden you're going to hear all of that. So it happens. Don't be afraid to back down once in a while and just be like, look, I can't do this right now. It's not right for me. It's not serving me to sit here and deal with this energy at this moment. I want to help you, but we're going to have to calm down and change the energy first. It's totally okay. I've done it to people before. Shoot, I've done it to my mom. They're like, look, I love you. I want to talk to you, but you have to calm down, or you have to do this or that before we can really talk, because I'm already high up on the anxiety scale today. It happens. Sorry, I wrote notes, so if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. But then, why do people project? So, the list could literally be on and on and on. But ultimately, if you really think about it, they can all boil down to pretty much this reason. And if you feel like I'm wrong, that's totally fine. You're welcome to your opinion. But out of all the research I've done and all of the people I've talked to, it always seems like it boils down to this. And it is simply a lack of positive coping mechanisms or coping skills. So for those of you that don't know or are a little unsure, coping mechanisms and coping skills, same thing, is how people react to incoming information, how people react to incoming events and things that happen. So if someone has something really bad happen to them, how they react is their coping mechanism, is their coping skills. The biggest one that you'll hear about in psychology and sociology, at least in the basics, is fight or flight, because everyone is born with fight or flight in their brain. And then it goes on to, okay, are we gonna we're gonna shut down? Are we going to just sit here and take it? Then there's coping mechanisms like drinking, drugs, going for a walk, driving. There's a bunch of different coping, literally so many. But positive, so negative ones, we'll go on to the negative first, would be like the drinking, the drugs, fighting, sometimes shutting down can go either way. Yeah, so there's a bunch, but
the positive ones are the ones that we want to reinforce. The positive ones are the ones that we want to establish in our lives. And so that's where we go back up to that. It may take 30 to 60 to even 90 days to change. But if you don't have positive coping mechanisms or coping skills, or you do, but maybe you tend to not use them more often than the others, then it could take that much time to change this. Sorry, my leg's falling asleep. But you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And so, types of coping mechanisms that we want to reinforce is like, first, almost anything with the senses. So, a lot of people find comfort in things that are soft, or things like kinetic sand, where it's like trickling. So a lot of people find comfort in those. Being with pets or animals, painting, being in nature, going for walks, physical exercise. Physical exercise is a really great one because it really releases those endorphins. And it can become kind of like, you could train your brain to make your coping mechanism kind of a reward. So, I reacted this way from it. Like, I didn't get mad, I didn't get angry, I didn't step up, so I get this reward. But also, the point of the coping mechanism is to release that energy into something. So when you're doing physical activity, when you're going for a walk, when you're painting, the point is you want the intention to be to release whatever. Like, whether you want to play it all out. Like, maybe you have to think about everything again before you can officially be done with it, or before you can calm down about it so you can approach it calmly. Maybe you don't want to think about it at all, but you just have that energy there, so you want to release that into whatever you're doing. That is totally the point. It's just to release everything you're doing, or to just calm completely down about it, so that way you can approach it in a more positive way when you have to, or when you're ready. Sorry, I have new glasses and they're kind of rubbing on the nose. Okay. But yeah, so that is the why, and that is the coping mechanism part of it. Now, how do we flip the script is exactly what I was just talking about. You have to try to change your coping mechanisms, because obviously you're not going to be able to stop talking to people completely. You're not going to be able to, completely take yourself out of society, at least not very easily. So what you want to do is, when you're feeling those types of ways, maybe take time before you go into public. Work with your coping mechanisms, do some art, go for a walk, do something where you can either be alone or with very limited people that understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. Just take that time to step back and be like, okay, my anxiety is really high, or I'm not in the right mental space to do a store right now. And just take that time to have a break first. Get yourself right. Even if, one great way, say you have to go into the store, you don't have a choice, but you're not in a great mental space. Take time to do a 2-minute grounding and meditation. Just ground yourself with the earth, cleanse yourself, shield yourself, and then go into the store. And I do have videos on how to do that if you are unsure, but that's a really, really great way to just get yourself back into a calm, mindful state when you don't really have a choice but to do something that you maybe don't want to do, or you just don't really have a choice but to do. And then you just continue to do it. You work on being mindful with it. You work on it every day with being mindful in the moment, being grounded, cleansing and shielding yourself, and making sure that you're focusing on those good intentions and those good vibrations. Because ultimately, that's exactly what all of this is doing. It's either raising your vibration or lowering your vibration. And as we know, we want to be on the higher vibration. So that is my video about projections, how, why, and to flip the script. If you have any questions, please drop them down below. All my information will be in the description box. And remember to hit the like, subscribe, and follow, or notification bell. Sorry, my social media is getting mixed up. But anyways, have a great night, day, morning, whatever it is for you. Bye.